Hi everyone, welcome. I am super excited you're here today. Today we're going to spend about the next hour talking about women's wellness and all the things we can do to help support just feeling vibrant and amazing and energetic and all those things we want to feel. So whether in your 20s, your 40s, your 60s, you're going to get great value out of today's webinar. We are just going to take a minute here. So I want you to grab your workbook or your worksheet that you got in the email, download that. This is pre-recorded, obviously, so if you need to pause it and go grab that, grab a pen, grab a glass of water. We're going to have lots of facts coming at you. So I want you to be able to take notes and just really embrace these ideas, keep an open mind. We're going to talk about lifestyle changes, natural things we can do, and a lot of natural products that doTERRA has that are making huge changes for women in their health. So I am going to actually pause the video here and bring up a PowerPoint, and you can follow along with the PowerPoint. So just give me 1 second here. All right. So here we go, the essentials of women's wellness. So grab that worksheet, and I want you to take a minute and write down, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel more energetic? Do you want to feel strong? Do you want to feel motivated? I know as women, we often give and give and give, and we always put our needs to the bottoms of the list. But I want you to take this time right now. This is your chance while you're watching this, whether you're doing it in 2 half-an-hour spurts, or if you found an hour of time, to just take this for yourself, write down your desires, your needs, and how you want to feel and how you want to live. So maybe it's just things like having less headaches all the time, or less cravings, or maybe you're just really irritated and moody lots. Whatever it may be, I want you to jot it down on paper so that we can refer back to this later. So you might not feel these things right now or as often as you'd like to. Maybe you've been experiencing symptoms for so long and you just think that's what happens that time of the month, or everyone with kids feels this way. But it's not, and it's not normal, and it doesn't have to be. You should be feeling vibrant and radiant. I mean, we're all going to have our moments in our days, but it's not how you have to live. So this webinar is going to give you some natural tools and simple actions to help you rise up and heal your body and feel amazing. So very briefly, for those of you that don't know me, this is me just after my twins were born. I'm the creator of What the Frank Essential Oils and Natural Health Solutions. I have a team, and we really support women, especially moms, in a really supportive community. I started this because I felt lost after I had children. I kind of lost who I was. I just was down. I was in a funk. I wasn't feeling the best inside or out. And then I found all these natural options and just lifestyle changes that have really helped me develop. And I want to empower other moms to have these tools and to feel this way. So I've created this community. I've also worked in the medical field for quite a while as a registered medical technologist for about 15 years. I've worked in chemistry and mainly microbiology. I have my strength training certification. I kind of dabbled in some boot camps for a while. And I've just always had a love for fitness and science and health and just helping others and wanting to see everybody succeed. So that's just a little tad about me. So now we're going to get into things. So today we're going to talk about how we can get our bodies back into balance as often as we possibly can. This is a really important topic. We're going to talk a lot about hormones today, what roles they play, and why it's really crucial to treat them right. And I'm sure most of you can probably relate to this slide here. As women, it is difficult to control and support our hormones because our bodies are so complex. We have a lot of buttons. However, because of all that they affect in our lives, from our mood to our weight to our energy, this is going to be really important for us. As women, it's not uncommon for us to suffer from fatigue or weight changes, depression, digestive problems. And the usual culprit behind most of these imbalances or concerns are physical and emotional stresses. So this session, we're mostly going to be talking about the physical stresses And that generally means the endocrine system. So our endocrine system controls many organs and glands, and therefore also our hormones. And hormones are obviously necessary. They're essential for every activity of life. They're heavily involved in our growth and development, metabolism, nutrient regulation, and overall homeostasis, which is just a big word for balance. So the endocrine system balance is incredibly complex. All these glands that control the hormones all affect each other in a multitude of ways. So you'll see a lot of relation as we go through the different systems here. So we're going to be covering 6 major areas of concern, including the endocrine system. So tonight we're going to talk about foundational support. Without a good foundation, it's hard to build up the rest, just like when you're building a home. You need a good foundation before you put those walls up. So supplementation is super critical here. We're going to talk about some really great supplements and why our bodies need that to have a great foundation and overall to kind of cover pretty much all the rest of the areas here. Next, we're going to talk about the liver. Liver function is super important to help you be better equipped for hormone balance. We're also going to talk about the pancreas. This is things like blood sugar and metabolism. We all know as we age, our metabolism slows down. So this is going to be fundamental for our health, as our brains need consistency to be able to function optimally. And because our brain controls all our other organs, this is going to be really important as well. We're going to talk about our adrenals. We're going to talk about adrenal fatigue in there and cortisol. We're going to talk about our thyroids. I know that's a very common topic. A lot of people are on thyroid medication. And last but not least, we're going to talk about our ovaries. It's a women's wellness. We have to talk about our ovaries. This is estrogen, progesterone. I think this is probably at least one of my favorite topics because it is somewhat, I'd say, the easiest to start up-leveling your health and seeing results right away. So that portion is definitely going to be beneficial to you. So how do you know if you're out of balance in the first place? How do you know you need to up-level your health? We use that phrase a lot. So go to your worksheet again. Take a minute again here. Pause if you need to. And I want you to just check through areas that you experience these symptoms, or maybe you just want to improve on them. Things like hair loss, weight gain, or even weight loss. I know a lot of people think weight loss isn't that a good thing, but too strenuous of exercise and not having enough fat can actually cause a lot of health imbalances as well. I know we all see thin people in society as this golden standard we want to live up to, but try and retrain your brain to think, I want to be healthy instead. You know, the scale might also reflect that as you do some of these things if you are needing to lose weight, but the goal is to feel the best in your body. Other signs of imbalance are loss of libido, constant fatigue and weakness. This is a huge one. Hot flashes and night sweats, whether you're pre or menopausal, pre or postmenopausal. Insomnia and sleep problems. I get asked this probably the most out of anything. As a society, I think we're just sleep deprived. And a lot of people think an essential oil is just going to be this magic pill and I'm going to diffuse it and sleep well through the night. And it's not as simple as that. As you'll see today, a lot of things factor into it. So if we hit all these foundations, you're going to notice a change across the board. Mood swings, depression, dry eyes, irregular periods, brain fog. I don't know if there's any new mamas out there, but brain fog is real. I said when I delivered my son, I delivered half my brain with him. And then once the twins came along, I'm technically in the minuses, I think. But don't worry, after today, you will have some tools in your back pocket here to start addressing and reversing these symptoms and issues. So I'm going to take a minute here and talk about right now what our modern medicine approach to healthcare is. It's very reactive, and we as a society are dependent on medication to treat symptoms really quickly and easily. It's so much easier to just take a pill rather than change a lifestyle. But are we healthier for it? Even with all the advancements in science and medical care, we may live longer, but as a whole, we are sicker than ever, and it's putting such a strain on our society. So don't get me wrong, I mean, in certain circumstances, we for sure need modern procedures and advice. But let me give you an example here. So you might go to your doctor because you're tired all the time and not feeling well. So they test your thyroid and the result is not normal. So the doctor's solution is to say, here's a medication. Sure, it's an answer to a problem that we're looking to solve. They are doctors, we trust them. They know a lot about textbook medical information, and it probably will help you, but at what cost long term? This is where our modern approach begins to have faults. We have side effects from drugs, resulting in us needing more drugs, and we're never getting to the root problem of issues. And I could go into a whole controversial topic about how people push drugs and big pharma and they get paid and it's all about profits. But even if you take that out of the equation, we still have underlying issues here. So when we're overprescribed, we develop resistance to pathogens and bugs. We're actually running out of new drugs to treat things when we do actually need them. Because sometimes we do need drugs, but because of all the prescribing, working in microbiology, we see all these resistant organisms that medication isn't even working against anymore. So slowly our bodies become so overloaded with synthetics and toxins, we get to this tipping point that our cells can't function as they're supposed to, and then we get sick more often, diseases start showing up, and all the symptoms that we talked about earlier become more prevalent. So this modern approach can be very costly as well, not only to us individually, but as a society as a whole. So the doctor is correct. You may get your thyroid levels to the correct level that you need to, but the root issue or foundational problem could still be there, or you might need to be on drugs permanently. It's been a journey for myself to really look into this as well. I have worked in the healthcare field. I believe in science, and I still do, but most modern science that we use to make these synthetic drugs is based off of plant science from centuries ago, the traditional form of medicine. So this is where essential oils come into play, and this is what I love. Obviously, we should still discuss solutions with your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I don't cure diseases, but I just want you to open your eyes to what problems could be addressed as we go along here with just lifestyle changes and natural options first. If you're currently on medication, work with your doctor, find a really good one that is well-rounded, maybe find a naturopath, and slowly work your way around this. You don't want to just instantly stop taking medication. I don't recommend that. However, using common sense, trying to be more holistic in our view, can have really great effects long term. So here's a great phrase. Maybe you could post somewhere if it resonates with you like it did for me. I love it. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And this is so true. Like I said before, we're very reactive in our health. We wait until we have a symptom or a problem that arises before we want to actually change our lifestyle. So you can compare this to a car. If you own a car, you know you need to maintain it in order for it to last longer. So you might not see the results from that oil change, that belt lubrication, but in the long run, you're going to save so much money and stress, preventing much larger, expensive repairs if you don't work on those things preventatively. doTERRA is the same kind of mindset. It's all about leading a healthy lifestyle and prevention. So using the foundations of health that I'm just going to talk about here in a minute, and implementing daily habits, daily healthy habits, adding on the support of your essential oils, you can really start reversing all the damage you've done to your body over the years. I'm in this same boat as well. It is a journey for me right now as well. We didn't know better back then maybe, and perhaps we did the best with what we knew. So don't feel bad where you're at. Start where you're at, and after today you'll know better, so then you can start doing better. It's said that it takes about a month to reverse a year's worth of damage. So if you've had bad habits and exposure to a lot of toxic products and that for years, it's not going to change overnight. I'm not giving you a magic pill here. It might even take a month. It might take a couple months. It could take a whole lifestyle adjustment, but you are going to continue to see improvement. Some things will be right away. Some things will take a little time. So using these tools that I'm going to talk about here today to uplevel your health, and investing in your health now is going to save you loads of money in the long run. This is a really unique opportunity to take charge and be your own advocate. Since practicing these tips and ideas myself, I've saved so many hours not going to the doctor, not going to the emergency room for things late at night, 3 little kids in tow. I've had less downtime being unhealthy, and I've had way more energy to just experience all life has to offer, start accomplishing all my goals I have. And I've just saved a ton of money for our family on cleaning products, use of supplements that I used to take, medications, over-the-counter drugs. It's been really, really amazing. So I'm going to take like 2 minutes here before I get into the systems, and just very shortly I'm going to give you a brief background on doTERRA for those of you that have never heard of them or don't know what essential oils are, because I will be using essential oils as natural options to try along with other lifestyle tips and tricks. So if you have never been to an essential oils class, if you've never checked one out, don't know anything, you can always go on my social media at Jennifer Gung on Instagram, or What the Frank on Facebook, and you can check out my Bare Essentials class. I have a beginner's class recorded there that you can check out. Or if you're local, obviously I would love to come teach you one. So essential oils are basically nature's medicine. They are natural aromatic compounds, and we find them in plants. So roots, seeds, stems, bark, flowers, and all parts of plants, and they are distilled and then extracted for their health benefits. So they provide us with things that can really help support our bodies in many different ways. Our bodies are plant-based, and so our bodies just instinctively know what to do with them. We get a lot of health benefits, but we also get the great smell and the aroma in our homes. So why do you want to use essential oils? They are 50 to 70 times more powerful than dried herbs. So you definitely get more bang for your buck. It makes them quite cost effective. They contain dozens of compounds. So instead of 1 or 2 isolated purposes, they have so many compounds that allow us to use them for a variety of concerns. And our bodies don't develop resistance like they do to the synthetic versions of these same compounds in over-the-counter medication and such that I talked about earlier. They're also small enough and fat-soluble to work at the cellular level. So they're great for getting inside cells. This is where viruses live. I think this is so cool. There is a ton of research going on with essential oils and different things at this level. And the science and nerd in me just like absolutely loves it. So now, why am I talking about doTERRA oils? They are way different than a lot of oils on the market out there. They are trusted by over 7 million people globally. Hospitals trust them and use them. They're researched by big player universities. And this is because they are consistent with quality and purity. They're verified pure, beyond organic, free of pesticides and contaminants. And they're sourced from all over the world where plants are native to, so that they can get the best possible chemical constituents in it to get therapeutic benefits. There are numerous YouTube videos you can check out on doTERRA's sourcing. A huge part of me was actually drawn to doTERRA because of their humanitarian efforts they make to enrich the lives of farmers, their families, and their communities there. They build medical facilities, schools, they bring in clean drinking water, they pay these farmers fair wages on time, they cut out that middleman, and the stories are just tearjerkers. If you want to learn any more about that, you can go to sourcetoyou.com or check them out on YouTube. These oils are also third-party tested to ensure transparency. You can also look up your bottle's test results online on that sourcetoyou.com website. And they are tested at numerous levels along the process before it gets to you. So you can definitely trust the quality with doTERRA. So that's very brief, but now let's get into the women's wellness, why we're here, how we're going to learn about all these topics. So this is the first layer of building blocks. So turn to your worksheet again and take a few notes here, or maybe just screenshot if you're on your phone. You can take a screenshot of some of these slides. So number 1, proper hydration is a must. We all know this, but yet it's so hard to do. The liver is the basis of a healthy endocrine system, which we'll talk a little bit more detail about liver in a minute. but you need to stay well hydrated. Our livers are the dumping ground for all the waste and toxins that we are exposed to on a daily basis. If you are not well hydrated, your liver can't consistently wash these toxins out. So imagine like a garbage dump full of sludge and things just can't get through. It needs the water to help filter that junk out. So staying hydrated is essential. And do you actually know how much water you should be drinking? So take a second here, scratch it down on your worksheet. You want to take your body weight in pounds, divide that by 2, and that's how many ounces of water you should be aiming to consume a day. So if you're not a huge water drinker or that's a big adjustment for you, maybe you can try adding some citrus oils to your water. It'll help it taste better. It also helps cleanse and gently detox our bodies as well. There's a really great blend from doTERRA called Slim and Sassy. This is one that's going to help with metabolism. It helps reduce cravings to boot, which is great. Another oil that is very common is lemon essential oil or grapefruit as well. Lemon, instead of using real lemons, you're not going to get that acidity in your mouth as well to wreck enamel and that kind of thing. Number 2, reduce caffeine intake. This is important as well. In small amounts, it's not too damaging, but as a society, we definitely overdo it. If you're a mom, you probably live off coffee as fuel. I get it. Caffeine helps spike serotonin, which makes you feel good. But then when it drops, it puts your brain into a withdrawal pattern. So you feel good, and then you're dragging again. And then you get into this unhealthy cycle. And the pathways in our liver that are filtering the caffeine, they also filter estrogen. So if you're drinking too much caffeine, your liver is getting bogged down and tied up trying to filter out all the caffeine, then it can't do what it's supposed to do and help regulate estrogen levels. And I don't actually like coffee myself, so I can't speak to the addiction part of it, but I do have caffeine in a lot of other ways. So maybe dropping it down to just 1 coffee a day if you can, or if you want like a healthy coffee routine, there is something called Bulletproof Coffee. You can Google that and check that out. I personally like to use wild orange and peppermint essential oil to help energize me, or a cup of tea, but those 2 oils are really great for giving you a little bit of energy. Kind of a good pick-me-up in the afternoon as well. Number 3 is eat 3 balanced meals and 2 snacks daily. This is going to help regulate our blood sugar. So we want to keep our blood sugar levels consistent and safe, and it's going to help our brain control our endocrine system. If you're skipping meals, then it puts your body into a stressed state, which then releases the hormone cortisol, and then you can get out of balance like that. We're going to talk about the cortisol cycle with adrenal fatigue and in another point here. Fourthly, you can diffuse essential oils throughout the day. This is going to address your limbic system, which is going to help mood. It helps cleanse the air. It's going to help detox. And essential oils have actual phytoestrogens in them, which we're going to talk a lot about estrogen at the end here, which is really important. You can also utilize the aroma touch technique. This helps the immune system, it helps fight inflammation, and it gets your body into that homeostasis state that we're looking for. Massage and other self-care are also very important. So here, you can take some notes again. There's some space on your worksheet because this is probably the biggest thing you can take away from today is LLV, Lifelong Vitality. This is a whole food supplement. No matter how organic, how whole food, paleo, vegan you eat, your food just isn't the same that it was years ago. Broccoli grown today, due to modern farming techniques and that, just is not the same as it was 40, 50, 60 years ago. So everyone needs supplements to make sure that your body gets the proper amounts of nutrients it needs to function optimally. I was in that category where I didn't really believe that. I thought, I'm pretty healthy. I eat fruits and veggies. It's just not enough. Our bodies need way more than what we give it. There's so much research behind this vitamin pack. It's formulated to be the right levels. A lot of supplementation on the market will mention, you know, an ingredient, but there's not actually enough in it to meet your requirements for the day, or they have too much of one, too much of the other. The research behind this is amazing. It also has essential oils in all of them. So for those of you that have tried supplements, but they're too hard on your stomach, there's some tummy tamer blends in the vitamins and minerals. The omegas actually have essential oil blend as well to help you absorb more. And these are all bioavailable, so your body can actually absorb them, rather than a lot of the ones on the market are just these hard little rocks and your body can't even actually process or use any of them that you think you're putting into your body. This is doTERRA's best-selling product, and that's why I tell you about it. It has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's totally risk-free. I don't know any supplements on the market that if you went to get all the ingredients that's in these three, you'd have to buy a whole ton of things. On average, people say they've added it up. It's $200–300 worth of other things to get what's in these three. And if they weren't working, you wouldn't be able to get your money back. So it's definitely a risk-free, considering they are game changers. The testimonies behind these are amazing. They're going to fight inflammation because they have high amounts of antioxidants in them. They boost energy and help brain fog by supporting healthy mitochondria right at that cellular level. They are going to help immune function, mental clarity, a healthy brain with the omegas. You're going to support bone health with your calcium, your magnesium, your zinc, and your vitamins. It's going to help support a healthy liver by providing the correct amounts of nutrients that you need to do that effective filtration. And the stories here are seriously life-changing. These are going to replace all your calcium, your vitamin C, your multivitamins, your magnesium that you're probably already taking that are just sugar-filled and not that great. So start your day off with a really good protein and your LLV, and never skip your meals, and that is going to be a huge foundation right there. And everything else we talk about is just going to be that much better on top of it. So another ounce of prevention is using DDR Prime. This is an essential oil. It's called Damaged DNA Repair, and it's a great antioxidant, which is super important to help remove free radicals that are doing damage in our bodies, and they are disrupting our hormones. So this is cellular repair in a bottle right here, and it's supportive of healthy response of all our body systems. It's going to help balance estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and it is vital to use this daily to see significant changes in your health. So I usually recommend 2 to 3 drops under your tongue daily, or they actually have soft gels that are just a pill that you can take for convenience. 2 other foundations here are the use of lavender essential oil. This is beautifully soothing, stress relieving, it's delicious smelling, and you can add this to your daily routine. It's all things calming. It's soothing to the skin because it causes healthy regeneration of skin cells. It's going to support normal hormone levels. It's going to promote a restful sleep. And it relaxes the mind and decreases feelings of anxiety and stress. So the less stress we're putting on our body physically and mentally is going to help us. And the king of all oils, frankincense. This is the foundation for healthy hormone function. It promotes healthy cellular activity and response. This is where I got the name of my team, What the Frank. Frankincense can be used for literally everything. It's stimulating and elevating to the mind. It's great for diffusing to instill feelings of calmness. It's going to combat inflammation. It's great for the whole endocrine system. And it's been used since way back in like Egyptian days for anything beauty, scars, wrinkles, age spots. Adding it to your beauty routine is a really good non-toxic way to help with beautify on the outside as well. So taking 2 to 3 drops daily under your tongue is going to be really beneficial. So now let's talk about our livers. As we said before, a healthy liver is the basis of hormone balance. One of the best ways to achieve and maintain overall health is to be kind to your liver. So right away, we're all going to think about alcohol and livers. Don't drink alcohol excessively, or limit it is definitely healthier. I'm not going to judge you for having a glass of wine here or there. There's a few studies out there that show a glass of red wine can actually be helpful. Number two, you're going to drink plenty of water, which we've talked about, to help facilitate excretion of all those toxins and excess substances. Another way is to eliminate processed foods. We all know they're bad for us. They're killer to your liver. They're full of polyunsaturated fats. And your liver just needs so many nutrients to be able to complete its detoxifying job. So eliminating those processed foods, eating more whole foods, and taking those lifelong vitality supplements to get the proper nutrition is going to be really beneficial. And number four, reduce exposure to toxins. This is a huge, huge help for everyone. This is controllable in our homes. There's tons of easy swap outs. What we bring into our home is our choice. And things like cleaning products, our personal care products, especially as women, we put a lot of stuff on our skin and on our bodies, and we are absorbing all of that. Our lotions are full of phthalates, our makeup is full of parabens, so finding some really clean products there is going to be really helpful, or making your own. If you see fragrance listed as an ingredient on your shampoo, on your face wash, anything that you use, ditch it. It can mean over one of 3,000 toxic chemicals. Fragrance is just a nice way that they label it. So take advantage of doTERRA's rewards program here, because it's kind of a no-brainer. They have easy swap outs for things like cleaning up your laundry, your bathroom, your medicine and cleaning cabinets. And all the rewards you get on that stuff that you would have to buy anyways, you can just cash those in for free oils. That's how I look at it. It's a really, really generous and awesome program to be a part of. You don't have to, it's totally optional, but it's a really great thing to look into. So some recipes, if you're using essential oils to care for your liver, is this something of concern to you? You can apply geranium oil, apply it topically over the liver and adrenal glands. The Zendocrine complex is a blend of whole food nutrition, and it's specifically targeted for each of the major cleansing organs, and you can use this daily for support. There's also a Zendocrine oil, which they have in a soft gel or just as a regular oil. And this includes things like tangerine, juniper berry, cilantro, which we know is great for detoxification and heavy metals. Geranium and rosemary together, these are going to help reduce oxidative stress on our body. It's going to support proper cleansing and stimulate detoxification. And this is often part of a 30-day cleanse program that doTERRA has, but you can use it daily as well if you're not doing a cleanse program. And obviously, utilizing non-toxic, free from synthetic dyes and fragrances is in our products as much as possible is going to be really important. So next up, caring for our pancreas. This one here, our pancreas produces the hormone insulin, and it secretes it into the bloodstream, where it then regulates the body's glucose levels and our sugar levels. So problems with insulin control, we know, can lead to diabetes, and we all know the effects of diabetes can be really serious. We're talking health problems, including heart attack, stroke, blindness even, problems during pregnancy, kidney failure, and more than 13 million women have diabetes. That's about 1 in 10 women ages 20 and older. So the Slim and Sassy blend that I mentioned earlier is great at assisting us here. You can use it two ways. You can use it topically and internally. Topically, you're going to help support metabolism, regulate blood sugar. You know, think about those 4 o'clock cravings for some chocolate. You can help minimize cellulite as well and release excess water. Internally, you can take this in a capsule or in your water daily. It's going to have the same effects either way. It's an awesome blend for any pregnant mamas that are watching this. It has grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger, and cinnamon in it. And this is going to help with occasional nausea and heartburn. or post baby, it's going to help you feel a little healthier, get you some energy, and maybe balance some of those crazy hormones a bit, which can help with your mood. We all know we're a little crazy with all those fluctuations in our hormones after giving birth. And on a side note, the LLV that I talked about, the vitamin pack, is really great for pregnancy pre and post. It's a really great pre and post postnatal vitamin. So next up are adrenals. So where are those? What the heck are our adrenals? I know Biology 11 was probably way too long ago for most of us. It was for me, that's for sure. But if you look at the little picture on the bottom left there, they're just above your kidneys on your back. So adrenal fatigue is a pretty common term these days, and with good reason. So many of us are chronically tired. And not in the I have kids and I worked all day kind of tired. It's more than that. So with more and more companies having shift work, and as women, out in the workforce these days, we're working these crazy shifts. We're still caring for our families, and this plays a huge role on our hormones. If you work these type of hours, you know that bouncing back and forth from nights to days can do a number on your health. And even if you don't do shift work, the amount of stress that we are under is going to, and all the toxins that we're exposed to is definitely going to play a role here for adrenal fatigue as well. So the adrenals control the hormone cortisol. This is a great hormone. We need it. It's responsible for our fight or flight response, which is obviously very necessary. However, it's also responsible for waking us up in the morning and feeling energized throughout the day. But then it also must dip back down in the evening in order for our body to produce the required amount of melatonin to sleep. So if you don't want to drag your feet all day, then we need to keep a good balance of cortisol. So if we look at our little cycle picture here on the bottom right, we have a stress on our body. So this could be, when you're skipping meals. It could be when you go to lay down for bed and you're stressed and you just can't turn off your mind. There's many stresses that we put on our body. Maybe it's over medicated, too many toxins, all sorts of stresses. This means your cortisol is going to be too high because it stimulates the adrenals to release more cortisol when we're stressed. But we really need it to come down. And on a side note, if you are someone that can't stop your hamster wheel from going at night, the essential oil vetiver is really amazing for that. I know that my hamster wheel never stops. So over time, this causes our adrenals to be overworked. So if they're working too hard all the time because of all the stress we put on our body and on our mind, the adrenal can't keep up with us and it can't keep producing enough cortisol anymore. So then the levels drop really low. So adrenal fatigue of being overworked equals low cortisol, which makes our bodies less capable of coping with stresses then. So now you're not going to feel energized because you're overstressed, overworked, and your cortisol is always low, and you're going to be feeling tired all the time. So how do we naturally, as possible, without drugs, help support ourselves and help support our bodies with this? We can use calming oils like Serenity or Balance, or we talked about lavender and frankincense, using those daily already for other uses. They're going to be really helpful for stress as well. Not skipping meals, getting enough sleep, staying active, and I flipped up there, and letting go of things that don't serve us. So I want you to take your worksheets out here again. This might be a really good time to pause again. Take 1 minute, take 5 minutes, whatever you need. And just list a few things. It's funny when you write it out on paper what it does. So this is huge for moms and women in general. We just often take on too much and do things that either don't serve our goal or our purpose or how we're wanting to feel, or they don't make us feel really great. And for some reason, we feel we have to do them. So setting some boundaries and just really looking what's important to you and seeing if it serves that is going to be huge. So definitely write that out. A couple examples from my life was saying yes to too many things. I love party planning, event planning, being a part of like potlucks with groups, you know, whether it's your work, your church group, whatever. Saying no to even going to some of them, or trying to rush around and fit too many activities in, or being the one to volunteer to, you know, make the big cake for something. Or maybe it's like just not having your kids in every activity possible. There's a million things that it could be. So pause, write that out. When you come back, I'm going to give you, we're going to talk about this phenomenal blend right here. So 10 drops of geranium, 10 drops of rosemary, 10 drops of lemongrass, and 10 drops of that amazing frankincense oil. You're going to put all those in a 10 ml roller bottle and top it with fractionated coconut oil. That's going to help dilute it. And you're going to apply this over your adrenals a few times a day, and this is going to be really supportive of energy. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about rollers and making them, definitely go check out the basics class. We talk a lot about all the different ways you can use oils safely. So next topic is our thyroid. So thyroid issues are an epidemic. If our adrenals off, our thyroid will inevitably be victim over time as well. Are you kind of seeing a trend here, how everything is all connected and related? So if you're one of the many who have thyroid issues, this is not a life sentence. Daily habits can definitely help change it. And the reason so many people have issues is because of our lifestyles these days. Many parts of our diet are not advantageous for thyroids. We need good fats for our organs, yet most of us are convinced that we need fat-free. This is kind of what we're fed in media. But fat-free often just means it's filled with more sugar or a different type or more synthetics. So if thyroid issues are something that you need to address, maybe start looking into some dietary changes for thyroids and start to make those first. Obviously work with your doctor. There are, you know, extreme circumstances of different things. Everyone's scenario is different, but just as a general approach to thyroid issues, these things are going to be very helpful. Also looking at how much fluoride you're exposed to. Studies show that fluoride is actually quite poisonous. It's not good for our brains and thyroids. It inhibits the activity of enzymes necessary for the production of thyroid hormones. It was actually once used in the 30s to treat hyperthyroidism, but it had so many side effects and downfalls. So this fluoride can be found in processed foods, which we're trying to eliminate anyways. Some cities' water supplies have fluoride added to it. Toothpaste is probably the most obvious one, and other common products have it. So using a fluoride-free toothpaste, obviously doTERRA has a natural one that's got rave reviews from so many people. There's lots of natural ones on the market out there. And checking your water source would be another easy step to take. Ultimately, our systems get blocked up, the fluoride gets blocked up in our liver, and then our body can't release hormones. So trying to limit that is definitely something to look into. So different things we can do to care for our thyroid. Essential oils to use are going to be very similar to the ones that we use for adrenals. If you have no thyroid at all, obviously you will need some sort of medication then. Nutrition will help, but you'll need medication. Essential oils aren't going to help for you. So here's a blend that is going to be very supportive for not only hyper, but also hypothyroids. If this is something you need to support, then you can try 10 drops clove, 10 drops myrrh, 10 drops of the amazing frankincense again, 10 drops of the lemongrass. Top all that up with fractionated coconut oil and put it in a roller bottle for ease, and apply this daily, 3 times a day to your neck and the bottoms of your feet. And also for your thyroid, DDR Prime is going to be really helpful as well. All right, so our last topic here is caring for our ovaries. I think this last topic is probably the biggest game changer for many of the symptoms that you probably feel, especially hormonal imbalances. Estrogen and progesterone is mostly what we're going to be talking about here. So many women are on hormone replacement therapy. As we age, it's a very common occurrence for us to either have estrogen dominance or not having enough estrogen. And this is going to cause a lot of different symptoms. This is why we have hormone replacement therapy out there. It may help you reduce symptoms, but it comes with a much greater risk of breast cancer, other cancers, an increased risk of stroke and cardiovascular disease. So I don't mean all these things to scare you. I just want to give you another way, another option to look at it. So first, how are hormones facilitated in our bodies? So these are target cells, and there are ones that target each type of hormone, whether it's estrogen, progesterone, etc. So they all have specific hormone receptor sites that can only receive what they are targeted for. So for example, the first circle here is a target cell for hormone A. It can only bind to hormone, that receptor site can only bind to hormone A. So if B, we'll call the little triangle, hormone B came along, that cell receptor would not be able to receive it. And vice versa, if it was a target cell for B, A wouldn't be able to attach. Understanding this very basic immunology is going to help us understand how the next supplements and phytoestrogens work. So just keep this in mind. So we're going to talk about xenoestrogens. What are they? These are a huge contributor to the dominance of estrogen. They are man-made, they're potent endocrine disruptors. You've probably heard that word before. They act like estrogen in our bodies. They're kind of like copycats, and they are found in things like makeup, lotions, plastic containers, plastic water bottles, all our processed food. You notice that topic coming up a lot. Even our oral contraceptives, some of our cleaners. So cleaning up all these things, as you can see, is going to affect so many parts of our body and our health. So we are exposed to these everywhere, and they are 100 to 1,000 times more potent than our own natural estrogen. That's why when you are exposed to them, you get this dominance of estrogen in your body. So excessive estrogen in premenopausal is going to give us some not great symptoms. You've probably experienced these at some point. They're fairly similar to the first symptoms we talked about as well. Things like mood swing, depression around your cycle time, weight gain, breast tenderness and edema, variations in or skipped cycles, infertility, vaginal dryness or itchiness, excessive or scanty blood flow during our periods, or cyclic insomnia, maybe night sweats, fatigue. So why are these xenoestrogens so bad? Why is this dominance causing all these things? When we have one of those target cells looking to bind to estrogen, and the xenoestrogen comes along, it's mimicking that estrogen and it can bind. So now remember, they're 1,000 times stronger than our regular estrogen. So this is going to result in a huge imbalance in our bodies. So limiting these man-made xenoestrogens is going to be really helpful. So this is why we have phytoestrogens. So what are phytoestrogens? If we have an excessive dominance already, you're probably thinking, why would I want to take a phytoestrogen? Why would I want to add more estrogen in? So let's talk about that. So they are supportive of normal hormone functions in women. They don't actually contain estrogen though. They protect tissues from the effects of the xenoestrogens that we just talked about. So phytoestrogens are much gentler and a more mild version than a xenoestrogen. They're going to help bring balance because they can still bind to those same sites as well, but they're so mild and not damaging to our balance that they make sure there's no room for those xenoestrogens to even bind. So it's kind of like first come, first serve. So if the xenoestrogens are not welcome, then they can't do damage in our bodies. So this phytoestrogen, you can look at it as the phytoestrogen is kind of like a bouncer at the club, blocking the xenoestrogens from even coming in and causing problems. If you are a postmenopausal woman and you are on the flip side of this and maybe you don't have enough estrogen, then phytoestrogens are also going to be helpful for you because they act as a gentle filler for that reduction, and they're going to help minimize any symptoms that you are feeling that come from the decrease of estrogen during menopause. So many essential oils also contain phytoestrogens, so you'll get benefits from these just by using essential oils in general, like I mentioned earlier. So we're going to talk a little bit about our cycles here. You know, this topic had to come up. We're talking about women. We're closing here at the end. I'm sure many husbands and partners can relate to this comic here. But PMS symptoms, excessive cramping, and all these things related to hormonal imbalance don't have to happen. We can help regulate that and help lessen the symptoms. So we often think that it's just the way it is. It's that time of the month. We can't do anything about it, but we really can put a fight to PMS. By doing all these things that we've talked about, by improving our diet, reducing the processed foods, the sugar, the alcohol, the caffeine, by managing our stresses better, getting exercise and more sleep. I'm sure we've all heard them before, but this will give you a little science behind why it's so important. You can't really complain that you have all these symptoms or not feeling well or tired all the time if you're not willing to act on it and not willing to change now that you know that it's possible. So this slide just shows what a regular cycle in theory should look like. Note on day 14, there should be a spike in estrogen and then it needs to fall. So this is where our liver needs to work really hard to quickly detoxify it. It needs to help filter out that estrogen. And remember, if we're well hydrated and our liver has all its nutrients it needs, it's going to be able to do that efficiently. Then later on, your progesterone levels rise after ovulation. And if your progesterone levels are too low or the estrogen was not detoxified, then you're going to get a lot of PMS symptoms as a result. So now we come to menopause. So whether you're here or not in your life, one day you will be. We're all going to get there eventually. And just remember this little comic here. This is really cute. I'm still hot. It just comes in flashes now. I love it. So during the years of perimenopause, your ovaries sometimes make too much estrogen or progesterone, and sometimes they make too little. So this is going to result in a wide array of unpleasant symptoms as well. It's nice you have no period anymore, but you might have to deal with all the other symptoms. And at menopause and after estrogen levels significantly dip, it can result in fatigue, vaginal dryness, bone loss, and more. So this is where, for all levels of womanhood, this blend from doTERRA is really amazing. It's good for all phases. And it has the following oils, which contain phytoestrogens, and it's going to support normal endocrine health in our body. Things like clary sage, release muscle tension, help elevate mood, really hormone balancing. Lavender, we've talked about lots. Bergamot is great for muscle tension and mood as well. Roman chamomile, cedarwood, ylang ylang. It has geranium, which is great for hormone balancing. Fennel, which is great for supporting endocrine health. Carrot seed, palmarosa, vitex, which is going to promote progesterone production. And this is a really carefully structured blend. We use it daily behind our ears and on our abdomen and on your back during your monthly cycle. So now when we've talked about all these phytoestrogens and how great they are to help eliminate that excess of the bad estrogen, we're going to talk about these two supplements here. As a woman, this is going to support your body in all phases. It's a very simple way and easy thing to do to help alleviate many of the symptoms that we've discussed tonight. So when taken together, these are going to target 28 hormones in your body and are much more effective than if you just take the phytoestrogen by itself. That's only going to target about 3 hormones. So we have the bone nutrient complex, which contains vitamin C, your D2, your D3, your calcium, your magnesium, and a lot of other trace minerals. And I know when we're younger, we think we don't really need that yet. We don't have to worry about osteoporosis and bone nutrients, that kind of thing. But that's actually the time when you're young to build up your bone density in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s. This is the time. When you are in your 50s and 60s, that's when you start to lose the opportunity. But of course, it's always important, regardless of what time of life you're at, to be conscious of that. Be mindful. So the phytoestrogen complex is a natural form of estrogen, and it's a blend of standardized plant phytoestrogens that are going to support hormone balance and very gently and naturally. It's kind of like therapy, assisting to balance not only a deficiency, like during menopause and that, but also if we have an excess of the wrong kind of harmful estrogen metabolites, like the xenoestrogens. So if you're utilizing this with your Lifelong Vitality vitamin pack and your bone nutrient pack, this is going to just really quickly help you feel healthy from the inside out. If you want your hormones balanced, this is definitely for you. If you want any more information on any of these products, especially the phytoestrogens or the Zendocrine, that kind of thing, you can always go on doTERRA.com and look up a lot more information, all the ingredients in that if you want to know more details. So here's a few testimonials from those taking the bone nutrient and phytoestrogen supplements. On the left side, we have premenopausal women. They're talking about how their periods are lighter. They don't have to plan to be at home anymore. Some people, it really affects their days. They even have to call in sick to work. They have such bad symptoms during their cycle. I can't believe I have energy. The intensity and flow and cramping are much less severe. And on the opposite side, the right side, these are a few testimonials from peri and post menopausal women. So I got my monthly crazy sweats under control. I had moisture where I was dry. My hot flashes have been decreased significantly. So to finish off this webinar of women's health, here are a few more essential oil blends that are going to be really beneficial to our wellness as women. Whisper is known as a perfume. We all know we're trying to avoid those toxins, and most perfumes are just pretty much cancer in a bottle. They are toxic, synthetic, and not good for you. So this is a really nice alternative. Not only does it smell great, it's hugely helpful for really regulating hormones. So you're going to get some side benefits as well. It helps protect organs and tissues. It soothes PMS symptoms, soothes headaches. It improves general well-being. Most people apply it behind their ears because there's quick absorption to the brain that way. And another really great spot for targeting hormones when you are using essential oils is on your ankles. If you look at reflexology charts, ankles are a really good way to target hormones. Pardon me. One last essential oil here, grapefruit. This is kind of an unsung hero. It's very refreshing. It has similar benefits to lemon essential oil, if you're familiar with that one. It's really delicious. It's my personal choice for adding to my water daily. It's also one of the main oils in the Slim and Sassy blend that I talked about earlier. So it helps control sugar cravings and it boosts progesterone. So earlier we talked about when we're stressed, cortisol can block progesterone production, and grapefruit actually is going to inhibit the cortisol from doing that, which is really cool. So you can take several drops in your water daily, or if you like, in a capsule, and it can also be used topically for cellulite. What? That's awesome. So just one last slide here about pregnancy and postpartum, because I know I'm going to get lots of questions on this. So this could be a class on its own, so I'm just briefly going to touch on it here. But if you know someone who has just had a baby or is pregnant, please tell them about doTERRA. We know it's the best for purity and potency, and it is so helpful. I had one pregnancy with and one without doTERRA, and the fact that I even had options the second time was amazing. You know, there's a reason we can't take over-the-counter pharmaceuticals while we're pregnant. Just think about that for a minute. The fact that I even had options was really great. So I turned to essential oils when I was sick, not feeling well. You know, I wasn't helpless anymore. I had a safe alternative for things like aches, pains, energy, headaches. The only caution is to avoid clary sage. We talked about that today. It's part of the Clary Calm blend. Clary sage can strengthen contractions once your labor has started. But if it's your first pregnancy or you know you're prone to pre-labor, then you might want to avoid it. But a lot of people do use it during the pregnancy quite safely. You can use these at, you know, whatever comfort level you're at. But once labor starts, slather that stuff on and help strengthen those contractions. And essential oils are a fantastic benefit to mom and baby. Obviously, quality and purity is of utmost importance. That's why I trust doTERRA, and that's why I was using these on my babies the day they came home from the hospital at 2 days old. Like I mentioned earlier, the Lifelong Vitality is a phenomenal pre- and postnatal vitamin. It's going to be awesome to give you and your baby all the nutrition you need. It has the great omegas for babies developing brains. And this Alpha CRS is going to help give you some energy and be amazing for you that way. Definitely check out the book, Essential Oils for Pregnancy, Birth, and Babies by Stephanie Fritz. She is a midwife and very knowledgeable on this topic. So here's just a little women's wellness checklist of everything we talked about today. So take a little screenshot of this, save this slide, or jot it down, pause, and jot this down on your worksheet. It just kind of summarizes all the things we talked about using and doing. The only one I can see that I didn't really mention earlier was using glass and stainless steel water bottles for all that water you're going to be drinking. If you're using essential oils, they can degrade plastic and they can leach out the petrochemicals in your plastic. So you want to use glass or stainless steel water bottles for that. So that's all I'm going to cover today. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I hope you learned some new information that you can take home with you and apply to your life. Hormones does not have to be a bad word. It's not a dirty word. Start your journey naturally and feeling the difference in your day-to-day energy and health. If you have any questions, please contact me, email me, message me through social media. I love to hear from people. I love helping women with their specific concerns and helping them get what they need to benefit them the most. I'm going to get a little bit in here to a little bit about doTERRA. If you already use doTERRA essential oils, feel free to hang out, but if not, I'll say goodnight to you. And to those of you who are totally new here and are like, how do I get these beautiful tools in my homes? I want to know how to start. I am going to help you now. So I'm sure, you know, a lot of these things were maybe overwhelming. You don't even know where to start. So I'm going to just very briefly tell you how doTERRA works, and then we can talk about your individual needs later. So it's super simple to get these high quality oils and supplements in your homes. It works just like Costco or Sam's Club. So you can either pay $35 US or $42 Canadian, and that's going to get your own wholesale account, just like Costco. And then you can purchase oils at 25% off retail, as much or as little as you want. That simple, done. The smartest way though, and the most common way that we usually recommend is to start with a reduced rate starter kit, just because you get your wholesale account free then. So you get some savings there. You still get to shop at 25% off. Plus the kits are bundled for savings and are kind of set up as no-brainers to just kind of replace a medicine cabinet and covers all the things you might need. It's totally up to you. Either way is amazing. It's all simply done online and it's all shipped right to your door. And there's tons of perks with a wholesale account as well. So either way, you're going to be getting exclusive things that come with my team and doTERRA in general. So you're going to get exclusive access to our Facebook resources and our learning groups, where we do lots of giveaways. We have lots of contests. There's a lot of support. Pretty much 24/7, you can ask questions, get answers from what people have done and tried. And it's a really supportive community. You're going to get access to our free oil camp education, which is an amazing way to slowly learn about the top 10 oils, the tips and tricks for everyday uses. And everyone earns free oils there as well. It's really awesome. Some people have said, I'll just read what some people have said about oil camp. I was fortunate to have the opportunity to join this camp shortly after making my first purchase of a kit. This forced me to go through my kit and learn about the oils in an easy to follow format. Although we are all busy, the time needed to complete the tasks was very doable. So you don't want to buy essential oils and then not know what to do with them. So that's the great thing about doTERRA. You get a lot of support and resource and education after the fact so that you can get the best out of your investment. doTERRA is super generous, and we love on our teams, and we have different promotions of the month. There's all sorts of ways to get a lot of free product, and it's a really fun group. We do have a lot of fun. So there's many reduced rate starter kits that are out there, but I'm only going to mention the top 3 just because they're the most popular. They have the best savings, I believe. And they also are going to cover what we talked about specifically in this webinar. If they are not of interest to you, if they're not in your budget, or if you want, you know, the whole shebang, you want, you know, the best of the best, because obviously you're going to get the best prices that way if you do it all up at front. I'm totally open to that. Just contact me individually, but I'm just going to go over the 3 most popular here for most people. So the first one is our Aroma Touch kit. It's kind of like a mini starter kit. It's going to come with small bottles of popular 8 oils and blends. It comes with a diffuser, which you'll need, and an introductory guidebook, which is really beautiful and amazing. And it comes with fractionated coconut oil as well. So this one is a savings of $55 on it, and it's $150 US, and if you're in Canada, it's $180 Canadian. And then a step up from that is the Home Essentials kit. This is by far the most popular kit across the board. You get a savings of about $87. You're still going to get your free account, your 25% off, but it's going to come with the top 10 oils, all in the really large bottle, which is about 250 drops, and you only need 1 to 2 drops per application, so it's going to last you a really long time. It comes with the petal diffuser and an introductory booklet, but best of all, in those top 10 oils is the lavender we talked about a lot, and frankincense. Frankincense is one of the pricier oils out there, so the fact that it comes in a kit is really awesome. And the next kit, which would, if you're looking after this webinar to implement all the things we talked about, this is going to be the one for you. The Natural Solutions Kit is going to replace so many products in your home. It's going to be, if you're serious about really, you know, doing a whole makeover here, this is the way to go. This kit comes with the top 10 oils again in the large bottles, including that frankincense. You're going to get a larger and better diffuser with this one. It has a lot of household products to start reducing all those toxins. So things like a really clean shampoo and conditioner, hand soap, which is a lovely, a concentrate cleaner, the fluoride-free toothpaste. But the best of all, it comes with that LLV Lifelong Vitality Vitamin Pack that we've been talking about so much. It comes with the Clary Calm Roller we talked about. It comes with digestive enzymes, Deep Blue Rub, which is great for cramps that time of the month and just in general aches and pains. And it has like a headache roller, some of the other touch roller lines. There's fractionated coconut oil. You get a beautiful wooden storage box, but best of all, you get an extra 100 product credits to use towards whatever you want. So perhaps you want to get the phytoestrogen and the bone nutrient combo later on. Maybe you're just going to want to replace some products you've used. You're going to have an extra 100 product credits there for that. So if health is your priority and you're serious, this is definitely my favorite. Otherwise, the Home Essentials is a really great option as well if that's more your budget. And I forgot to tell you the price. The Home Essentials is $275 US, and it's $330 Canadian. And the Natural Solutions Kit is $500 US and $600 Canadian. So yeah, whichever one of those fits your budget, we can make work. You know, whether it's small or large, we can start addressing these concerns for you, whether it's one step at a time or all at once. So the link to order is on online, and I will send it in the email. It should be in the email you got. And I will send up a follow-up email for you as well. It's super simple. I can walk you through it if you need. Just make sure you enter my advocate number or go through my link so that you're a part of my team. That way you're going to get all the welcome perks that I send my team. You're going to get all the recipes and the support and everything from our group. We have hundreds of people in our team. It's a really amazing team. And we really look forward to having you join us. And we want to help you feel great and amazing. So all these kits will be delivered right to your door. all your kits, you're going to get your shipping back in point credits as well, which is really awesome of doTERRA. And we look forward to having you on this journey with us in our beautiful community. And that is all for this webinar. And hopefully we will hear from you again. Check out some more webinars that we have coming up as well. Thanks, everyone.